All right. I think. Well, I'll wait for Stream Elements to say you're live, but yeah, we are ostensibly streaming.
Ooh. There we go.
Fancy. All right. Got that. Got that. Da. All right. Can I get my notes?
Yeah. I beat Ashley.
Oh my gosh. Congratulations, Paul.
Woohoo.
Good job being on the show and typing first in chat. Oh.
That's what I call. I don't know. Doing two things at once.
Searching for coolness. What will I? Not first and first. All right. Well, you're first
Words
on YouTube.
Not forming. Andy. So never mind.
My word. All right. Yeah. I guess we could just. If you guys are good to start.
No, you need to do the 5 seconds of silence.
Oh, thank you, Paul. Yes, you're absolutely right. You saw this movie for the first time yesterday, Ashley? Oh my gosh. No way. And then Rushmore says, "Hey, a Retro Rewind podcast fam."
Who it is?
What? Kirk says it. You're right here. Oh my gosh. All right. Yeah. So guys, don't mute yourselves. But
Hold
we're
on.
Going, okay. But we're
I'm trying not to mute myself.
We're gonna do 5 seconds of just no talking.
Don't choke yourself either.
All right. Yeah, don't do that. So that I can take your sort of ambient floor noise and remove it after in post-processing. So we're going to start that whenever Paul feels like he's good for 5 seconds.
All right, I'm good.
Okay. Starting now.
Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it!
Paul. Now.
Okay, now.
Okay, thank you.
Lock on and fire!
Oh my.
I love this.
Alrighty. All right, Paul.
See, Andy, you need to step your game up with the sound.
All right.
It's morphin' time!
Here we go.
Oh my gosh. All right, Paul. Give me that beautiful, exactly like Harrison Ford.
No. I didn't. Oh, see? I lost it. Get off my plane. I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care. Unless it helps us in episode 318 of the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro systems online. Reflux capacitor fluxing. Scanning room space-time for The Fugitive, 1993. Rewinding in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your exo and mine, Paul, the master interrupter running from the law powers.
Hey, I thought you didn't care.
I don't. Don't tell anyone, okay?
Okay.
Wow. And also for this discussion of the film The Fugitive, we welcome back aboard fully devoted follower of Christ and youth pastor, Andy Ricketts. Hey, Andy.
What is up? Hey, just so you know, Francisco, I do care. Okay?
Aww.
If somebody's going to care tonight, I do care.
Thank you, Andy.
I care about all of you.
It's nice to feel cared for. You hear that, Paul?
Sharing is caring.
Indeed.
You're sharing the screen.
Or that, yes. In addition to Andy, we're glad to have back aboard loyal, God-fearing daddy, husband, pastor, teacher, coach, podcaster, and YouTuber, Kirk Plaisance. Hey, Kirk.
Yep, I'm glad I'm here and sharing the screen.
Indeed. And I'm going to end the mode right here. It sounds like all of a sudden you're very quiet, Kirk, and I'm not sure what happened.
Edna mode.
Yeah, I mean,
Not mode.
I can hear you.
I'm further away. I backed up.
Well, don't do that. We need you around the mic.
Yeah, well,
You need to be close.
I don't have the right, but I'm gonna have to adjust this back.
There you go.
How about now?
That's a bit better. Thank you. All right. And while we're in Edna mode, Dave Manley says, I'm hiding in either a doghouse or an outhouse. Don't look there. Okay. Well, but what about a hen house?
Or an
excited
outhouse.
for this one. Have a great show, guys. Thank you, Who Will Save Generation X, Appreciate that, Zabe. It wasn't
Hey,
me.
Dave.
It was the one on our podcast. Exactly, Dave. Yeah, it probably was. Edna Sadness, right, Ashley? Already. Okay. Thank you, Kirk, for adjusting. Appreciate that. All right. So let me get back to where we were. Just Aaron introduced you, Kirk. Did you have some like fugitive flourish you wanted to add?
Do I have a what?
That's a no.
Some
Fugitive what?
flourish, like a quote or something. You wanted to some quip you wanted to make.
No, I don't care.
Okay,
Fair.
that's good.
Well played.
And now that you have a quick flyby of who we all are, Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for The Fugitive from, please, 1993, That Fugitive?
The Fugitive, sure. All right. The Fugitive was released November 11th, 1947.
Dang it.
And it's rated approved. It's an hour and 44 minutes. It
Paul?
was directed by John Ford.
No,
Yeah.
no, not an old movie. This is
That's
is
what we
still
do.
an
We
old
review-
movie. Yes, but not 1946, almost 80 years old. This is
Okay.
more like 30 years old? Yeah, just shy of 30 years old. So could you...
Oh, when you said, I thought you said Henry Ford, the one starring
No,
Henry Ford.
Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford.
That could have been brought to my attention yesterday.
Fine. I'll go back, rewind, watch
you.
the right one.
Appreciate it.
All right. The Fugitive was released August 6, 1993.
There we go.
Runs 2 hours and 10 minutes with Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Not Henry Ford. It's rated PG-13 and directed by Andrew Davis and written by Jeb Stewart, David Twohy. Sorry, David. However your last name is, and
Maybe
Roy
Toohey?
Huggins.
Like Toohey?
Too high. I don't know. Maybe. With lead stars being Harrison Ford, Tommy Two-Face Lee Jones, Cecilia Ward, Julianne Moore, and Joe Goonies villain Pantaleano, Joey Pants.
Pantalones.
Yeah, that too. And music was composed by James Newton Howard. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready, Pantaleone. Kirk and Andy, are you guys ready?
I
So
am.
ready.
Awesome.
So
And
ready.
any of you guys in live here in chat, welcome to chime in as well to see who can get closest to the box office game here, which Paul is going to start us off with how this movie did in the box office.
All right. The Fugitive was made for about $44 million and earned over $350 million at the box office.
Cha-ching.
So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1993? And we'll go for the top 50.
Top 50. All right. Andy, what is your guess?
Top 50. So we're going to get into this in a minute about my thoughts on this movie. That's what this whole podcast is about, right?
Yes.
No, give me your thoughts on other movies, not The Fugitive.
I was confused as Paul was, so I had to watch this movie real quick. But no, I really think this is super high. I think
Okay.
this is a movie that I remember being like, this is like top 10, and I'd even venture to say top 5 that year.
Wow,
This is
really? Okay.
a huge. I'm gonna put it just inside the 5. I'm gonna go to 4, just
4,
because.
okay.
Yeah, I want to go
Wow.
4 with it. I want to go 4
All right.
with it.
All right. Kirk, where
Yeah,
would
I'm
you
gonna
put
go
it?
with. I'm thinking it was top 10 too, but I was thinking closer to the other side. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go like 6.
6. All right. Let's see. And in chat, we have Ashley's ready, and she guesses 3. All right. Price is right, and Andy here. Sway Knight, Bobo guesses 5, so right in the middle of Andy and Kirk. Dave Manley guesses 12 in the rankings. Okay. And Who Will Save Generation X guesses James Newton Howard is my third favorite Newton, only bested by Olivia and Fig. That's not a number, Zay. Oh, 13. Okay, there's his. 13. Okay. Hello, Bryce. All right. And so my guess, man, all over the map here. But you know what? I'm gonna really I'm probably gonna, I know it's not number one because Jurassic Park was undoubtedly number one in '93, but I'm gonna go for 2. I'm gonna go for 2. Here we go.
Nice.
So, Paul, tell me
Francisco, that's really impressive. Almost as impressive as your wife's answer. Correct number 3.
Oh, my God. So close. I mean, we were all so close.
Right
but
there.
Right.
well done, Ashley. Okay. Okay, so it was 3.
And Jurassic Park was number 1.
Was number 1. Okay, that's cool. Figures.
What was 2? What was 2? 93.
It's a Robin Williams movie, dressed in drag.
Outfire.
Yep.
Oh,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought that was the movie. I'm like, wait, that was. I've never heard of that. Yeah,
Mrs.
okay,
Doubtfire.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
Awesome. Well, thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Alice has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes.
The chase is on.
Go get him.
Critics say The Fugitive is full of suspense, thrills, fun. It's dynamite.
Gun down.
A runaway hit that will leave you breathless. Harrison Ford is The Fugitive, rated PG-13. Now playing at a theater near you.
Deport him.
I do love, and I had no memory of the logo for The Fugitive. You actually see Harrison Ford running through it, and it's like a really cool effect. I just, and especially for 90s, I mean, I think it's achieved very well. I had no memory of that, but I'm sure though that commercial did bring up some memories for us, and let's see what we all collectively remembered about The Fugitive in our memory mind meld synopsis for this film. It turns out that Greedo shot Han Solo's wife first, but Jabba falsely accuses Solo for the murder and sends Agent K after him, who subsequently doesn't care. Indiana Jones evades the U.S. Marshals for 6 days and 7 nights of clear and present danger while jumping off a dam, much like the first level in N64's GoldenEye 007, in efforts of trying to find an amputee. Two-Face flips heads and sides with Jack, not Alec Baldwin Ryan, to absolve him of killing his own wife. I mean, really, I think that's it. I think everything in there was exactly right, except no, it was deceptive. There's no Han Solo in this. Jabba's not in this. And what's with this N64? I don't think that was in this movie. But based on those memories, as flawed as they were, what range did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? So your prediction of, was it classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with Kirk this time. What was your prediction for The Fugitive?
Oh, absolutely classic.
Classic?
Yeah, that was my prediction for sure.
Okay. Andy, how about yourself?
I'm gonna crush more with Kirk and say that mine was classic.
Classic. All right.
Easy. You know, but yeah.
And we might talk a bit more later about what Crushmores mean. But
maybe.
Paul, what was your prediction?
I saw this movie for the first time about 20 years ago or so.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't seen it since, but I remember liking it when I saw it. But again, not really any desire to see it since. So I put it right in the middle and said nostalgic.
Nostalgic. For me, it had also been quite some time since I'd seen this movie. I think, though, the main reason it's been so long is because I've been waiting for us to cover it on the podcast.
Oh,
wow. So I predicted classic. I was hoping this would I would enjoy this rewatch.
I'm the only one holding out.
Yeah, I mean, and it'll be interesting to see if that holdout comes true, if it ends up being nostalgic or worse. But first, before we get into our final ratings, of course, we have to talk about the things we liked and didn't like about this movie. And let's start with those things we liked. Alice?
Best bits.
Yes, our best bits of The Fugitive. And let's begin with Andy. What's one thing you liked about this film?
So, it was so hard to just pick 2 things that I liked about this movie. But throughout the movie, one of the most interesting parts to me that really kind of, I think, added to the intensity and some of the like, we're figuring this out as it goes. Like, we start off the movie just wanting to believe Harrison Ford, but there's certain things that kind of happen, and it's the flashbacks. All of those flashbacks to me just add, and throughout the movie they're sprinkled in and they add another element to it. So it's like we're learning as we go too. Almost kind of like solving a mystery too.
Yes.
So to me, those for sure. There's some of the flashbacks that are in color, some of them are not. Some of them kind of look like memory, like it's almost like slowed down a little bit. Just what they do with that is really, really cool to me. So my first like was the flashbacks.
Nice. I'm curious.
That lines up with my first like. I particularly liked the use of the negatives and the stills on that. And you see it. It's not uncommon to see it done. But I thought the way they did it here was so effective. At least, I don't know if it was the mood I was in, but I was completely drawn.
Really?
And I felt, I felt like, this is a depiction of a like death. And I just thought it was really well done.
That's so fascinating. Well, Kirk, let me ask you real quick. Did that make your like list or not? If not, I have something to say, but if it did, then go ahead and add to it.
I mean, I have a bunch of likes, but my three favorite, the 2 likes and love, whatever, they're all kind of in the same family. So, and it's pretty close to this. I mean, there's some not far off. And
go ahead.
As he was saying it, I thought, maybe, ironically, another Crushmore, but maybe something that's really close that I like. But yeah, I absolutely love this. Even with Paul, where he mentioned the negative side, I loved how it was kind of hard to figure out who the people were. And as it kept growing, you're like, oh, I know that character. I know who that is. I remember this, because I hadn't seen the movie in quite some time either. So it was kind of like a whole watching again from the beginning, and it opens kind of right in the beginning with that opening crawl is just kind of negative and kind of seeing what's happening. You're like, okay, I kind of putting some flashbacks myself together.
Absolutely. So that's interesting because I felt I wasn't as huge fan of the negatives. I didn't mind it when it was black and white, but the negatives felt too much. And I think this is just because I've seen so many procedural TV cop dramas.
Yeah, you've seen it done so many times.
Exactly. It felt, and I think this was probably at the time, it wasn't ddone all that much. So it probably felt fairly
So yeah, that
fresh.
was one of the things I thought was like, 1993, this was the thing. You know what I mean? Like, I saw it in 2025, I'd rather like,
it didn't make my like list. It didn't make my dislike list, but it wasn't something that like appealed to me. However, something that I really did like was I just really enjoyed, and this has nothing to do with the black and whites, but I mean, I think it's very connected to Harrison Ford. His range of emotion in this, and me and Ashley were talking about this, how in like Star Wars or Indiana Jones, he's for the most part very confident, sort of just like I'm trying to think of the word, just very confident. We'll go with. Whereas in this, you see him super afraid, like when the police are closing in at that one house he's staying at, where they're actually going for the son, the drug dealing son. But he's like, you could see on his face, he feels just so trapped, and like there's nothing he can do, and it's just those, and then missing his wife. It's just this cavalier. Thank you, Ashley. That's the word we were talking about. Cavalier and the other roles of his. And this, I feel like you just got such a swath of his emotion, and it's really cool seeing all that from Harrison Ford. So that was my first like, was him in this movie.
But that is actually my second like.
Oh, really? Okay, go for it.
Yeah, is Harrison Ford's acting. And especially when at the beginning, when he's taken in by the police and he's being interrogated and he's going and he's remembering and they're accusing him of killing his wife he is so emotionally distraught, or at least playing that well. And I'm having a hard time coming up with a better movie or better scene. This might be, I think, his best performance.
Yeah, and to add to that, apparently that whole scene with the cops was improv. He didn't know what questions he was going to get asked to make him even more uncomfortable.
Oh, wow.
And apparently he injured like his leg or hip or something when he is fleeing the train, bus and train in the woods in one of the shots. And he didn't get treatment so that he would be limping through the whole movie just so that he could keep that going. I mean, I feel like that's
acting right there.
Yeah. I don't act, I live.
It's a documentary.
Well, that kind of is my first like, just the cast in general. I thought altogether it was kind of a flashback. You know, you see some of these guys, some of them are just kind of extras in other movies, you know, like Goonies, Mr. Pantalone.
Yes.
And
Billy Pants.
Pantaleon, yeah.
And you know, the cast, his wife, these are all people that circa 1993 were really, really up there in the echelon of, hey, this is going to be a good movie. When you see this cast, you just saw the movie poster, you're like, man, what is about to happen here? And Harrison Ford really, really did kill it.
And also, Jane Lynch is in this movie.
Yeah, she is
in such a small role. I remember watching this movie years ago, and maybe I just didn't realize who Jane Lynch was the last time.
Nobody knew who Jane Lynch was back then.
Why is Jane Lynch in this movie in just such a small part? So
it really brought you some glee to see Jane Lynch in this, Andy?
I don't understand that joke. I don't watch that.
Kirk, you said that was your first like. For some reason, I thought you had given your first like before. But what would be your second like? And of the Fugitive?
So my second like would be just the intensity.
Yeah.
The vibe you get. A lot of what happened between Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones's character. The way they reacted on each other, the way they played off the tension, the music, there was just from the beginning to the end, you kind of were on the edge of your seat, like what's going to happen next? Where are we going? The tension was just kept up really well, and I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed like the kind of the game, if you will, of the cat and mouse.
Cat and mouse, yeah, exactly.
And it kind of goes with that. I love how they respected each other.
Yeah.
Right. So that is a whole part of this intense thing, seeing the dynamic and just the feeling like, okay, what's about to happen? I love that I didn't see it in 25 plus years or whatever. So it was almost like watching it with fresh eyes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I that's one of the things I picked up the most about was the vibe of just this ongoing tension for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, and for me, my second like goes right from that, because the thing that amplified the vibe for this movie for me was the music by James Newton Howard. I felt like it was, I think my wife actually coined it as suspenseful sax music.
Yeah, it had a jazz rhythm to it a little bit, but definitely.
Yeah, but I felt that it fit really well. It really upped the emotion and the drama and the suspense. So
except for that one scene when Harrison Ford is running out of the building and they're looking down and they're like, hey, he's going, and they're looking down from the roof, out of that. And then the music kicks in and it goes
St. Patrick's.
And I just thought it was a little off, but everything
that's
else
more
seemed well.
The Cinco de Mayo Chicago parade is when you hear that.
Yeah. That led up to the
Oh,
hilarious,
man.
Paul.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Okay, so that was my second like. I guess that's
know what? I just want to real quickly. It might come up again. But I just wanted to make a comment because it's not on. It didn't make my top like list. But going back to what was said about the cast, Joey Pants in this might be my favorite role of his. He's such a likable guy in this. I wish I could see more roles with him in it.
He's so likable as Cypher in The Matrix. What are you talking about?
Well, yes, but he's also a little bit of a bad guy.
Well, yeah,
not
I know.
Like
I'm being
From here on out, he will be named Joey Pants.
Yes. Well, that's what some of his friends call him.
Yeah. And I think we can consider ourselves His friends.
Friends.
Yeah.
Hey, let's get Joey on the phone next time.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hey, Joey, it's so glad to have you with us.
Hey,
it's good. It's good to be here.
What you think of the movie, The Fugitive?
Oh man, let me tell you, The Fugitive. It's great. It's like eating a nice piece of steak from the Matrix.
Oh, and what about your mom's cooking? Is it that good? Like you're running away from kids? Oh, you're running 2 kids. Never mind.
Yeah, we gotta catch the kids, but I gotta go now. The kids are on the loose, and I gotta go through a cave. So bye.
All right, bye. Thanks for joining us.
Him and his pants, man, that was great. That was
Yeah, I'm so glad he brought his pants this time.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, Andy, I hope you're wearing pants. What's one more thing you liked about this movie?
Well,
before we
that's the
get to our
joy of
class-
these podcasts. These podcasts, you're only like from the shoulders up.
That's true. So I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah.
No, who knows? Who knows? We'll just leave it up to mystery.
But what's your number 2 like?
My number 2, like, I mean, everything you just said. It's the intensity, specifically with the music. Also, in that like montage scene when he's like making the fake ID and he's living in that apartment underneath the house, and whatever that music is like literally just the greatest like 80s 90s intense montage music. It's just so good, that whole scene there. And you know, like you said, just the music that runs throughout is it adds to that. So again, Crushmoreing again with that as for a like.
Awesome. Well, now let's get to the things we loved most, the things we crushed on in The Fugitive. Why can't I dream of Harrison Ford? Paul, let's start with you. What was your classic maker for The Fugitive?
Basically, what you guys were saying before is the suspenseful mystery of it all. I don't know how they did it, because this is a long movie, but there are many scenes back to back where they just keep the suspense going and going all the way from the beginning, basically from the beginning to the end almost. And so, so if you're looking for a suspenseful mystery, this is the best thing about this movie.
I agree with you about 98%, but awesome. Very, very cool. So the suspense.
All right. So not everybody can be 100% right, but that's okay.
I'm not sure I'd take that, PaulGPirates.com, but all right. So the suspense, Kirk was the ongoing mystery suspense, the like start to finish thing that make your classic maker, or was it something else? You said this was all things that were connected.
Well, I mean, that was kind of my regular life. My classic maker is kind of the opposite of what Paul said with Harrison Ford. I thought Tommy Lee Jones brought just a fantastic character.
Which, so you would also give him the Oscar, not Harrison. Okay.
And here's the thing: it sprung him into a career of police work in all of his films. I mean, like U.S. Marshals and
Men in Black. I feel like
Agent K and all of the it's just like, I mean, even he was Two-Face, which is a judge. I mean, like he just is like out there
District
being
Attorney. Yes.
Yeah, District Attorney. So, anyways, I love Tommy Lee Jones. Is just his stoicness the whole time. Just he just wants to go. Like, one of my favorite scenes is when he's like wearing that blue hat and they're going in to raid that guy's house.
Oh yeah.
And I'm just looking at him like, this just looks ridiculous. And then he's just the baddest guy there. He just no fear, takes the guy out. I like he has most of the really good one-liners. And just my love for the film, I mean, which took it to another notch for me was actually Tommy Lee Jones.
Nice.
So just so you know, when you bring us on again, you really only have to bring one of us on, because literally I'm matching everything Kirk is saying. I mean, my love, the classic maker was Samuel Gerard, was Tommy Lee Jones' character. Specifically, I mean, obviously everything about his acting is it's so great. I love his voice in everything that he does, Tommy Lee Jones. But the little quips that he has, you know, like early on when he talks about when he's like searching, they're at that first spot looking by the train and bus wreck. He like yells at the guy. He says, "What are you doing?" "I'm thinking. Why don't you think me up a donut with sprinkles on it?"
Yeah.
When Harrison Ford's character jumps out of the dam and they said there's no way he's alive, he says, well, it'd be easy to find now. You know, like in the raid.
That
in
guy's
the raid
fish
scene,
food. Well, then go get a cat pole and fish out the fish that ate him.
Yeah. And then the raid scene, you know, when that lady is screaming and he just looks at her and says,
"Shut up,
shut up." Like, I don't know, like like obviously the "I don't care" line was probably the most classic line.
You know, the guy's like, I'm deaf, right? And he absolutely could care less. He's like,
I like that. Hey, come close. I don't bargain. Those little quips that he has in this movie really just make this. I mean, he's fantastic.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe Paul could just do this show on his own because I'm in the same boat with you guys. Tommy Lee Jones was just so enthralling for me to watch. So I know they made U.S. Marshals after this. I never saw U.S. Marshals. Me and Ashley both want to see it now that she's seen The Fugitive. But
same here. I'm in the same boat on that.
Oh, okay. But I know they made a movie, but I really, part of me really wishes if we could go back in time, they would have made a TV show series, like procedural, with this character trying to hunt down all the different people that are.
The opposite of The Fugitive TV series. It's from the U.S. Marshals perspective.
Well, yeah, but not going after Richard Kimball, but going after different criminals and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that would have been with Tommy Lee Jones as the lead. I think that would have been so fun to have watched.
I think I actually saw U.S. Marshals before I saw.
Really? Oh, really? Wow.
Because I remember even this time watching The Fugitive for the second, third, whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yes, U.S. Marshals. Now it's all coming back. Like those kind of things. But I agree, man.
Awesome.
He just was a great character.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. And as much as there were great characters in this film, great things, great music, moments, suspense.
Did you say music? I have I already played it. Never mind.
You already did that, Paul. One Arquan bird per podcast. But there's probably, much like the Arquan bird, which I don't appreciate, maybe there's some things we didn't appreciate about this film. So let's get into the things we did. Oh, dang it. Sorry, guys. I thought I had everything.
You need a record scratch.
Did you not hit record?
No. I forgot one other thing I liked, guys, and that would be Junkyard Juggernauts. The king and queen have disappeared. A warlord is enslaving the land, and their only hope is you and the junkyard. Junkyard Juggernauts is a pixel art-infused tabletop board game for 1 to 4 players designed by Francisco Ruiz. That's me! You will play as a Mageneer, drafting cards to build the arms and legs of a magic-fueled mech, aka a Juggernaut, before taking on the warlord. With an expected crowdfunding campaign in the spring of 2025, there's still plenty of work to be done, though we're closing the gap here on Junkyard Juggernauts, and you can stay in the know by signing up to our newsletter at junkyardjuggernauts.com.
So everyone's after the warlord like he's a fugitive.
Exactly. Yes. You get it, Paul.
No, I don't. What does this have to do with the movie?
God dang it.
This was on the director's cut. He watched
okay.
extended deleted scenes.
Yeah. Where Julianne Moore had a thing with, I was gonna say one of the Juggernauts,
warlord?
but that's just weird. So never mind. Scratch that. Well, apparently, I mean, this isn't my trivia. I will say, apparently, like you were saying, there were deleted scenes where Julianne Moore was a love interest for Harrison Ford, but they just cut all that because I think probably for time.
Well, no, they said it didn't. The audience wouldn't sympathize with Harrison's character as much because he's still flashing back to his dead wife.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Got it. Well, okay, so it actually doesn't have anything to do with Fugitive, Paul. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Is it my line? I thought it was your line.
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah.
You broke the mystery.
Sorry.
Fine, end the mode. End
Get
the
off
mode.
my plane.
Let me say hi to everyone. Everyone here in chat. Thank you guys so much for being here.
Mode.
Yes, Fat Boys Gaming Nonsense. Welcome. Saying hi to Rushmore Show. Patrick Little. That damn jump though. Yeah, that was crazy. I don't know. I guess that was probably a dummy. I don't know exactly. Dave Manley.
It looked like a dummy.
Yeah.
It was a dummy.
Okay.
But he got up to the edge. They had a safety thing.
Oh,
for him,
really?
but
Okay.
But he was that's not a trick shot of him over the water. That's
Oh, wow.
him over the water.
That's crazy. Favorite Ford movies from Dave Manley: Last Crusade, Frisco Kid, Fugitive, Air Force One, Blade Runner. Okay, that's a good list. Let's see. Don't let them give you crap about your ponytail. Bobo's pulling out the bite me meter. Why? Why would you do that? D-Tongue says, I appreciate the part about the cities with the elevated railways. I knew that was an elevated train. Oh, yeah, Big Dog. You're never wrong.
Yeah, that was a good scene, too.
That was. Bobo says, top 4 things I expect from this show. Paul's music drop, Edna mode, Francisco getting upset, and Francisco forgetting something else he liked. That's my top 4 and nothing more. Oh, my God.
Classic right there.
That's a classic maker.
D. Tungsten says, I'm at +1
Classic
being in
maker.
Chicago. Nice, Paul. Owaz, welcome, Owaz. RP and these Rushmore guys. What is the world coming to? I know, it's madness. D. Tungsten, yeah, that's it. Dead wife stuff, yeah. And you guys are saying hey to Owaz. He's saying hey back. And I think we're caught up. So, all right.
That's great, Francisco. But what does that have to do with the fugitive?
Okay, it doesn't have much to do with the fugitive, Paul. I'm sorry. I pulled the wool over your guys' eyes. So to make amends, how about some trivia about the fugitive? Would you like that?
Yeah.
Awesome. So did you all realize, dang it, I totally forgot this whole time. Edna mode one more time, Francisco, in case you're falling asleep. I wanted the camera to be switching between who was talking this whole time during the like section, but I totally forgot. So now we're just going to do the dislike section that way, I guess. Oh, wow. Okay. Try this again here. Did you all realize director Andrew Davis only had one chance to crash the train in the train scene? Yeah, that wasn't CGI if you've seen this movie. It is an actual train, not a miniature, an actual train. After consulting many engineers, stunt doubles, and the insurance company, you got to do that, the train was expected to crash at 35 miles per hour. However, the train came in at 42 miles per hour, yet the scene still went to plan. And you can still actually see the wreckage today if you are out and about at the Tuckasegee River in Dillsboro, North Carolina. And
wait. Wreckage? What do you mean? Like parts of train parts are still there?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I will see if I can bring it up because I may have I still have it here. So let me bring it up for everyone to see. Give me just 1 second because I think this would be fun. So let me do this. Not that.
Should I play a song while you're pulling that up?
You and your songs.
This stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com. If you ask him, he'll tell you that his site is the bomb.
Check out last episode
Wow.
for more.
So this, and if you're watching the video of this, you'll be able to see, is where the train is. And if I zoom in right across the road here on Tunnel Mountain Road.
On the pink dot?
Yeah.
Oh, you're dropping your yellow guy there. Okay.
If you can see, right here is the wreckage.
Wow.
Of Illinois Southern.
Wow.
Oh, whoops. You can actually see the words really easily. Yeah. Illinois Southern,
says
right
the fugitive was here. What?
And here's the bus. This is the bus, I think.
Yeah.
Right here. But yeah, so if you can apparently have a river excursion. There's like some rapids here. And this is on privately owned land, so you can't actually get up to the train, but you can go by it on the river.
I was about to say, so that makes sense why it's still there because it's on privately owned land.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. But I just thought that was so cool. First off, I thought that was like a miniature or something. But to find out that it was all real and you could still see the remnants of it.
That's really cool.
I thought that was super cool. So, now that leads me to ask you guys, though, something that's super cool. I thought it'd be fun to do a mini Rushmore show where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more. Where I ask you guys, what is your top 4 of movie locations or places in movies you would like to visit? Ideally, they're real life. I guess they could be like other planets if you really had to go that way. But
Well, then you're visiting a green screen.
Sure.
That's not a film location.
Whatever, Paul, JimPowers.com. So let's start with the Rushmore guys themselves. Kirk, what's your, let's see if I get this right. Your Rosie is the bottom of the mountain, right?
Yeah, my Rosie would, I've got a bunch of these, but I'll probably go with my favorite Christmas movie of all time. And it's actually a backlot. It's not really it's not a real house. And I was sad about it. But it is a backlot in the Warner Brothers backlot in Burbank, California. But I want to be able to go to the Griswold's house for Christmas vacation.
Unfortunately, has been torn down in the last few years.
Sadness. Yes. Well, thanks, Paul, for wrecking Kirk's dream.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was torn down, but I knew that that's where it was at.
But yeah.
Very cool.
Hey, speaking of wrecking things, I'm gonna wreck this moment. Would you mind, Francisco, to stop sharing the map on the Video Ninja room? There we go. Cool.
Right. No, you must look at the map the whole time.
Well, no, it's just easier for me the way I have it set up.
I was zooming in to see the fish.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, sorry about that.
Nope, thank you.
Yeah. Awesome, Kirk. Let's go to Andy next.
I just fair warning, I did pick some places that aren't real, but it's okay. We're only on here for one.
It's real to you.
It's real to me, and that's all that matters.
That's right.
This one, I'm going to go my favorite movie of all time, and I'm going to Stan Mikita's Donuts from Wayne's World. I just want to go to that place because it looked like it was popping all the time. I mean, the amount of people that were in there to get that jelly-filled donut, and
we're not worthy.
Yeah, Stan Mikita's Donuts, man. And I'm going to avoid the guy himself behind the counter because of all the creepy talks. But yeah, go to Stan Mikita.
All right.
Doesn't he sell shoes as another part-time job?
Yeah, he used to play quarterback for.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but yeah.
All right, Paul, what's your Rosie?
So my Rosie is going to be Yosemite Valley. That's seen in many movies, but one that comes to mind is the movie Maverick with Mel Gibson. But it's another '90s remake of an old TV series. Apparently, they started doing that a bunch in the '90s, where they took old TV shows and made them into movies. But so that's my Rosie. How about you, Francisco? What's your Rosie?
My Rosie would have to be, if I'm really put on the spot,
like you are,
Area 51 from Independence Day.
So where they actually filmed it?
No, the actual Area 51.
Oh, the actual Area 51. Okay.
Wait, they're not the same place? Shattering my illusions. Okay, let's go back to Kirk. What's your TJ Jazzy Jeff?
Yeah, I would go with the bar from Cheers.
Oh,
nice. Good one.
That's good. Yeah.
Where everybody knows your name.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Let's go with Andy next.
So if we're gonna go TV shows here too, I didn't realize.
Apparently Kirk's just making his own rules for this, but I said movies.
Make my own criteria. I just went with Seth.
I am going to go with. This is odd, but it's okay. It's my picks. I'm going to go with the Chili's in Scranton, Pennsylvania, in the off chance that I'm there while the Dundee Awards are happening. So I'm going to the Chili's that they filmed in Scranton, Pennsylvania for The Office.
I thought Scranton was a fictional place in Pennsylvania.
Scranton's real.
Oh, really?
Scranton's real,
okay.
Buddy.
All right. My bad.
Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, the Rail Riders.
How about you, Paul?
I'm gonna pick for my third is basically from the Goonies, near Astoria. I was able to visit. Speaking of Joey Pants, the jail where they filmed him, like escaping the jail. They have like a fun little museum area. But still have not made it out to that rock, which is like about like 45 minutes or an hour away from that scene, like out in the beach, that big
Cannon
rock.
Beach, yeah. Haystack
Yeah.
Rock, yeah.
I would love to go there. That's still on my bucket list.
Awesome. Very cool. For me, I would like to go, as much as I bemoan it, I think it'd be cool to see the Jurassic Park area wherever they filmed that in Hawaii. I think that'd be cool. I don't know if anything's
that's
still
a
there,
good one. Yeah.
but I'm sure the last half of that tour is really epic. Let's go back to Kirk for your link.
Well, yeah, I would go to New Zealand, to Hobbiton.
Ooh, yeah.
Go see the Shire
Mm-hmm.
in Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
Very nice. Andy?
I think probably one of the most iconic places, and I feel like this would be up there on Kirk's. I want to go to the Field of Dreams. That's where I want to go. You know?
Nice.
Yeah.
Very cool.
The cornfield, the Kansas, is that it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
How about you, Paul?
All right, my Lincoln is it's the clock tower, Back to the Future,
Which
Nice.
also burned down.
in that's in Universal. It was in Universal Studios, California.
Yeah.
They've since torn it down and rebuilt it. It's almost back to what it was in
Really? Okay.
1985. Same with
Cool.
the Gremlins,
Mhm.
that outer area.
Mhm.
But I was lucky enough to visit it back in the 80s when it was still
Yeah.
then. But that's such an iconic area. I think it would,
Yeah.
if I wish they would rebuild it back to the way it was.
Sure.
And that would be so fun to visit.
Yeah. Very cool. For me, my link would be going very similar to yours, Paul. Would be I've been to the Goonies house, but
Yeah.
I think they've since got new owners.
Yeah,
that
so
you can
now
actually go
up to it.
in and like.
Oh, you can go in it?
I think I know you can
Okay.
at least go up to it now, but I think
Yeah.
that'd be so cool. And
Yeah.
instead of the
I snuck up-
curmudgeons that owned it before, get off our lawn or whatever. it
Yeah.
was.
I was able to sneak up and get a photo in front of it without them getting yelled at.
Yes. So that was awesome. Or that would be
Yeah, it
awesome
was.
to be more closer. Yes. All right. So let's end with our Georges.
So when you first brought this up, the first two I thought of were Goonies and Back to the Future
Mhm.
because
Classic.
two of our friends have been there. You guys
Okay.
mentioned it, but
Yeah.
they went to California. Chris, that's been on our show, did a whole trip to Astoria just to do that whole Goonies thing.
Mhm.
And
Nice.
then some guys that are going to be on the show in 2 weeks. They were out, San Francisco, and did the whole Back to the Future thing.
Awesome.
But when you mentioned them, I was like, no, I'm just going to roll with it. So I'm going to go Home Alone.
Ooh.
And yeah, so I don't know how to say it, but it's in the W town in Illinois.
Mhm.
But that house is really iconic. I'd like to go there.
Very, very cool. Paul, Andy.
Yeah, so this is we're in the Rushmore show. We're in the middle of like a video game series for
Yeah.
2 months right now,
Mhm.
and this would be the mecca of places to be. And this is where I go like really weird here, as if it
is
wasn't.
California?
No, it is actually an animated scene. So I'll be like in a computer, I guess, but. It is Game Central Station from Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Oh,
It
that
is
would
the
be
most-
fun.
It is the coolest like thought of a design of a place, like the fact that it's in that power strip or whatever, but it's a train station
Yeah.
and every entrance to other games. Like, so you would just be around all of your favorite arcade characters. It would be awesome.
That'd be cool. Very nice. Paul, your
Well, for
your
me-
George. Yeah.
My George is the number one destination place for me to visit on my bucket list in
Ooh.
real life is Hobbiton in New Zealand.
Mhm.
So
Rushmore.
yeah.
Very, very cool. Yeah. So what is a
Oh,
Crushmore
me and you would have
for-
had. I was trying to. It's like, okay, let's get some variety because we're not doing honorable mentions. But yeah, you had 3 of the ones that were on my list. So that's
Yeah.
So for those that may be unfamiliar with the Rushmore show, and why are you unfamiliar? Go watch it now. But what is a Crushmore, Kirk or Andy?
Yeah, I'll jump in. So we designed the whole show to banter about our favorite things, and we do 6 categories, and we allow you to match in your first 4, and it's just to play off the words crush more, that we crush that, we that pick. So if we match in the beginning segment, it's called a crush more, and we have a double crush more and a triple crush more and a quadruple crush more. That is very rare that we've had that. So if everybody on panel says the same one, it's kind of like winning the Emmy, right? And
absolutely.
So
yes.
Is it like a jackpot when on the one-armed bandits where the diamond all shows up, all 4 slots, ding 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 ding?
Exactly what it is. Yes.
Right. And so, as you heard, also, he was calling them the George and the Rosie. Those are a play off of the 4 presidents and the way we rank them when we started the show. So, and then our honorable mentions are called Benjis or Benjamins or Benjamin Franklin.
Nice.
So that's it. That's the show.
Very cool.
Check them out on YouTube.
I think that just leaves my George, which I think nothing's there now. But I think it would be pretty cool to visit where I think is in British Columbia, Canada, where they filmed the Outpost 31 from The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh.
So I think that'd be cool to see that area. So that'd be my George.
Cool.
All
nice.
right, guys.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, and thank you guys for doing a mini show inside the larger show.
We're excited. We love doing this stuff.
Awesome. So thank you guys.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our rad rewinders, had about The Fugitive.
All righty. Patrick Edwards says, I don't care.
Yeah, I like that.
Wardell White says, about time. Anyway, what I remember most about this classic film is the camaraderie between Gerald, Tommy Lee Jones, and his fellow deputy marshals, where's he, Kimball Ford, going in an ambulance?
David Gardner.
Tip, if you're ever running away, don't take an authoritative vehicle.
David Gardner says, to paraphrase, so a janitor orders emergency surgery, and the only thing you do is take away his name tag. Yeah, that's all you have to do.
Yeah. Kevin Joshua Burnham says, classic. But knowing how much you guys enjoying finding faults in movies instead of actually enjoying a movie, who cares? I don't. Wow. Shots fired.
Jeremy Shields says, I have never heard or seen the TV show. Then one of the networks, in anticipation of the movie release, aired the final episode of the series. Fantastic performances by Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones.
Aaron Wallace says, Tommy Lee Jones has a legendary performance. And then she mentions this.
What happened? Where'd he go? You're gonna Peter Pan right here off of this stamp, right here. Right there. Boom.
All right. And Who Will Save Generation X podcast says, I remember thinking, Indiana Jones has no trouble beating up Nazis, but can't take down a dude with one arm? This movie is so fake. Well, be that as it may, maybe there's some things that we thought were very fake about this movie or didn't really do it for us. So let's talk about the things we didn't like so much about The Fugitive. Alice?
Worst woes.
Yes, let's talk about our worst woes of this movie. And I'll start with mine. Okay. So can you guys, and maybe this is just something I missed.
Were you sleeping?
I wasn't sleeping. How dare you?
Were you watching on 2x speed?
No, I wasn't watching on 2x speed.
All right. Carry on. Proceed.
The cops, when they're interrogating Richard Kimball, Harrison Ford's character, they say something about your skin was under her fingernails. And I don't know, how would that have happened? I mean, we see some scenes where he's like doing
they didn't show that, but I think
they didn't show it, but they explained it.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, go for it.
Harrison Ford's they asked him about the scratch on his neck, or something, and he said that she did that when he was trying to help her or something.
Right.
But she seemed so out of it by the time he was really helping her. I don't know how she would have done that. Because she could barely dial the phone.
I feel that. I think that's one of those plot things that we're just trying to make it make sense that he was the guy, right? Like just piling on the evidence of
So
some,
it sounds like you're making a case with all this evidence that this should be a tragic movie. Okay, interesting.
Yeah. I mean, this movie was 2 hours and 10 minutes. Why not have 5-second scene where it shows that?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, PaulGPirates.com. But that is my first dislike. Let's go to Andy next. What's something you didn't like about The Fugitive?
I didn't like the fact that I had to pick 3 dislikes this movie, but I did it anyway.
Because you wanted to give 100 dislikes because you hate it so much.
Yeah, right. It is. All of these are going to be nitpicky and just totally like they don't. Yeah. Anyway,
like like how is his skin under her fingernails? Is that one of them?
Probably even less. Like I understand yours. Mine is just like let me just find something to throw out there. There's one scene where they're in the hospital, and I don't know if you picked up on this, but for some reason it bothered me, and it shouldn't. There was one nurse that was rollerblading through the hospital.
Yes.
Just one.
Really? I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Does that happen? Does that?
I was trying to figure that out myself. I forgot.
The hospital's so crowded. I mean, there's more people in this hospital than I've ever seen in a hospital hallway in my life. But
he is there for moral support, much like an emotional dog support. That's his role in the hospital.
Just so random that there was one, and like,
and nobody thought anything different. Like it was Sonic, and they were delivering a blizzard. Like what is this girl doing with the orders?
Yeah, and they were on that scene long enough for you to notice that it was a thing.
Yeah,
it was when Kimball was helping that kid.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't notice that, but that's fascinating. Okay.
Well, he was already really fast, and if you were watching it at 2 times speed,
how dare you all? Don't besmirch my honor.
You do that yourself.
Wow. Paul, what would you besmirch about this movie?
Okay, but much like you, Francisco, here's something that it didn't kind of make sense to me, and I think it's just the way it was framed in the shots, but in the scene on the train, not at the beginning, but more towards the end of the movie, where he's on the train with the amputee guy that has the gun. In some of the scenes, it seems like they're the only 2 people in that car, or maybe there's like 2 others like way in the front of the other side of that car. Mostly it's pretty much empty, if not completely empty. But when they're wrestling, you can every once in a while there's like a guy like ducking out of the way, and I'm like, is that a crew man? Like he's in the shot? Like
really?
Where are these people coming from?
I didn't notice
now
that.
I have to rewatch this.
Yeah, and it happened at least twice, and I'm like, that's too much to be a coincidence. Like,
yeah,
like I said, it's the framing in these kinds of movies, and directors are usually really good about this. They frame the camera in the way so you get a sense of space, a sense of knowing what's going on. But then there's like people there that I didn't see before. So anyway, it took me out.
Okay, that's fair. While we're on that scene real quick, I didn't. Ashley picked up on this. Ashley, my bride, picked up on this. That the cop that says Kimball and then the 1-hour man shoots. That's actually played by I think his name's Neil Flynn. He's the janitor in Scrubs. He's also the dad in The Middle. If you've ever seen either of those. shows.
Wow!
So it's it's one of his, not his first acting role or anything, but it's among his first. So that's cool to see.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in this I haven't seen. Oh, I haven't seen these people in years. What happened to them?
Yeah, exactly. Kirk, what do you wish you hadn't seen in this movie?
It's funny that you said that, and I was just reminded that you were kind of cameoing. There is another really cool cameo that you guys probably didn't even pick up on, but
No.
Hall of Fame first baseman of the Mets, Keith Hernandez, played a cop in this movie.
Really?
And I like pegged it as soon as I saw him. I'm like, wow, what is he doing in here?
Yeah,
But,
this is Do you have the DAR?
No, I don't have the DAR, so I should have been having the DAR. So, and if if it doesn't capture here, it won't capture on YouTube. So, if it doesn't come back,
How
it's
far back?
No, they just said it's back. So,
Okay.
thank you guys.
But no, how far back was the audio cutting out?
I mean, I just saw it. Who will save
Okay.
Generation X?
So we
here's
don't have
what we'll
to,
do. We'll start over with Kirk. Me asking him
Okay.
what his dislike was. Okay.
All right.
All right. Kirk, is it still cut off for you guys? Bryce says sound. Yeah, I got that. Is it still cut off for you, Bryce? Or
was it just me? Can they hear me?
no, because this happened before. They said everyone. You're good. You're back. Okay. Audio is still good. Okay. Thank you guys so much for helping.
Really appreciate it.
Zay, Bobo, Bryce, D Tungsten. Okay. Let's go to Kirk next. What's something you didn't like about this film?
All right. Well, before I jump into that, and you mentioned cameos, I'm going to say there is a cameo of a Hall of Fame first baseman of the Mets.
Oh, wait. I saw him as Keith Hernandez, right?
Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, you can't miss that mustache. Yeah.
Can't miss that mustache. And I was really shocked. I immediately went and looked it up. But talking about police, I know this is a fugitive movie. I know there's supposed to be police everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But something that just irritated me, around every corner there was just a happenstance of a random siren chasing someone else. Just like there's this like
in life,
he's coming around the corner and there's an ambulance just going on. He's like, whoa, like it just you know, they have that build up of the tension, but it would have been different if those were the policemen after him. But it seemed like there were police and first responders just all over this movie that didn't even know he was a fugitive. So
he's not America's #1. Like, he's just a wanted guy.
Well,
and
it just felt like, man, there's another like jump. It was like a jump scare for Harrison. Right?
Oh, interesting.
Like,
okay.
You know, like there's another one, and it's like
a fake out.
Yeah.
You don't like the fake out.
Yeah.
Well, we don't follow him 24/7.
Kind of like Andy. I'm nitpicking a little bit, but when I saw the one where he's kind of underground and he meets his buddy, right? And trying to get a couple dollars, and they had that ambulance. I was like, really? Right here? I mean, like, how many of these things happen? And then I started noticing just every place he goes, there's another one. He's like ducking in.
But I'll say I did like the scene where he was living in that apartment or whatever.
Yes.
And that intensity of like, oh my gosh, they got me.
Yeah.
Got the guy.
Yeah.
The son. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I did as well. But that's totally fair.
Or just like, you know, they have the dogs after him at the beginning, but he hides under leaves and is able to sleep through it all just fine, and dogs don't find him.
Is that your
totally
next,
believable? Yeah.
Is that your next dislike?
No, I just threw that one in for extra.
well, if you don't mind, can I jump into my second since he brought that up?
Yeah, go for it.
My second dislike is the overly convenient escapes.
What? No, they weren't convenient.
Here's the thing. I mean, Kimball's really smart. He's obviously a surgeon, a doctor. Well, he's a vascular surgeon, right?
Yes.
And so, but man, he escapes like he is a career criminal.
Yeah.
He just knows all the ins and outs. He's like born supremacy and some of this stuff. He's doctoring things up. Like, oh yeah, I just know it all. And like he just avoids all the captures, just near miss. And I'll rewind. I am saying this knowing that is a major part of holistically why I love this movie. But it kind of going back to
it doesn't fit the character of a surgeon.
It just kind of was like, oh, it's a little bit of a stretch.
See,
like, man,
So let me disagree as a way of segue to how I agree, because it's also kind of my dislike. But I do want to point out, Who Will Save Generation X says, dude jumped off a dam. That's not very convenient.
Yeah. Well, and even how he like escaped the train, like he went out like with his feet first. He's all flying, and he just like exactly at the boom. There's it's that suspense, that action part of it. But just kind of leaning back, I'm like, yeah, this guy is a vascular surgeon. Like, how really athletic and crazily. Yeah, I don't know. It just seems a bit of a stretch.
Okay, and that's fair.
And again, I'm nitpicking.
So here's what I'll say about the whole idea of Kimball being super smart. I bought into that very much. I totally bought into that. He's able to figure all this stuff out. He's doing some trial and error. They are near misses.
He's MacGyver.
He is kind of like MacGyver.
He's MacGyvering while surgering. That's the problem.
Here's the thing I didn't like about this is that his friends and stuff are telling us, the audience. I mean, they're telling the marshals, but they're telling really us, he's really smart. You're not going to catch him. I'm like, we see this. This is, you're showing and telling. We don't need you to tell us. We see it just fine.
I took it more. I get that, but I had to take it more of like, oh, they're just bragging to the cops rather than.
I don't know.
I get it. Like I said, I get it. Yeah.
I felt like it was just too much. So that was my second dislike. Let's go to Andy next. What's something else you didn't like?
Yeah, I'm just gonna nitpick here the whole time.
No, don't call it nitpick. This is super hateful against the
Okay,
Fugitive.
well then let's be honest. Let me throw that one away and give you the one I really much like you, I do like Joey Pants. I liked him. There's something punchable and not likable about Ponytail Guy.
I think that's Newman character, which is weird that there's like two Seinfeld references. There's Cosmo and there's Newman in this.
Yeah, Newman. There's something about him that's like, how did you get to this point and like be so useless? Like, I don't know. Like, I just don't like him. He feels like he's,
I think he's like the rookie is how I sort of
maybe that's it. Maybe I'm being hard on him here, but like, yeah, Ponytail Guy.
He doesn't. I agree. He doesn't add value to this movie.
He seems like they put a lot, like he gets lines and stuff, but if he didn't, the movie would just still be the exact same.
Exactly.
Yeah. I feel like he's mainly just a foil for some of Tommy Lee Jones's one-liners, but
yeah. And I mean, I guess if we have to have him, he could be, he's the
butt of some jokes. You know what? Give him long ponytail too while you're at it.
Yeah, it's like they threw that on there. What's going to make him even more hateable? Give him a ponytail.
Yeah, I wish
it was not a man bun
and a trench coat.
I didn't quite understand. Maybe from the gunshot by his, I don't know, but
was that the same guy? I couldn't tell with a different hairdo.
I'm that was
99% sure that's the same guy. Yes. Where's this Ponytail Guy come out halfway through the movie? Paul, maybe that was your second dislike. Where's this Ponytail Guy go? But
how's your internet settings, Francisco?
I think fine. I'm getting no drop frames, so that's the weird thing. So I don't.
Well, it's not the frames. The frames are fine. It's the audio.
Yes, but those are sort of linked, and my CPU is fine. My FPS is fine. Everything looks fine.
Yeah, but how are you? Are you fine?
I'm okay.
Friday morning check-in. How are you feeling?
Oh! Wow, it's Friday already. That's amazing.
Hey, Francisco, do you want to start the DAR?
Yeah, I might as well, I guess. Give me a second.
Yeah, I think it's worth it in case it happens again.
Yeah, just in case.
But this is almost a guarantee that it won't happen again.
That's for sure. Let's see. So I'll do this one.
Bryce just said on YouTube that Fugitive is a movie you should watch with your dad.
Oh, I can see that.
I love Bryce the dad.
I love Bryce. Bryce, you're awesome.
Bryce, you're amazing, buddy. So for everybody out there that doesn't know Bryce was on our show in January. He is he's a video game YouTuber.
Oh, awesome!
And cool. he's a fun guy. He's a mushroom. He's a fun guy.
Oh my gosh!
And is there a backstory of why you should watch it with your dad?
That's what I was wondering.
Well, that's
it seems like I understand what he's saying, but I don't know what he's saying.
he probably watched it with his dad.
Maybe you did.
Oh, okay. It's just a general. Hey, it's something that you could watch with your dad, kind of a thing. Yeah. Oh, is it kind of like a guys movie? Like this is something to watch with the guys? Maybe.
Yeah, maybe so.
Why don't you watch it? Your dad has you watch Chariots of Fire, Paul, and you have him watch this after it. It's like,
well, you haven't got my final rating yet.
oh, good point. Good point. It may be like, no, we're not watching this, Dad. We'll watch Chariots of Fire a second time.
That's right.
Okay, hold on. I'm putting in my SSD card into the DAR.
And
Okay, let me find which file I'm gonna do.
There's room on it.
Yeah, it's more the battery life of the DAR. Than
What is this?
anything
My
else.
taxes? I don't need that.
Oh my gosh! All right, we'll do this one. All right, so I'm hitting record. Okay, so we have.
on with it.
We have.
Yes, get on with it.
I will turn this show around right now.
Right.
Okay, so let me see where we were. Paul, did you give us your third dislike?
My
yet?
second one? No.
Your second, yeah, excuse me.
I've
sorry.
only given one.
But Andy, we finished your second dislike, right?
We did, unless you want me to talk about Ponytail Guy more.
No, that's
No,
fine.
no more
I did
Ponytail
mine.
Guy. Okay.
And Kirk, you did your second dislike, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All
I
right.
went back to back.
Oh, that's right. Let's go to Paul for his last dislike before our tragic makers. All right, Paul, what is it?
All right. So the thing that didn't make sense to me and took me right out of the movie, at the beginning, let's go back to the first train scene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if the train was going 35 or 45 miles an hour, but it is not going to derail at that speed. And then not only is it
How
not
do
going
you
to
know this? Are you an
because
train
they
engineer?
build trains and tracks so that it doesn't. They go much faster and they hit things.
Our
And
infrastructure is crumbling around
and
us.
also, the front part of the train is still attached to the bus while the back part derails.
Yeah.
What the heck? They're only making this up to like, okay, we got to make what would be good here? Let's say a train comes. Oh, cool. Oh, all right. Now we got to make it bigger. Okay, let's say the train derails. Oh, okay, cool. And let's say it comes as you know, Jack Ryan's running. He's got to like the train derails and comes right at him. He's barely missing him. It's like they seem to be upping it and upping it and upping it in a way that doesn't make sense in reality.
I will tell you one thing about that whole first train scene, and I think I might have. Well, I thought I just maybe looked away at the moment. But I was like, wait a second, how did they end up on a train track? Like what? It fell off. They were going off the road and whatever.
Yeah.
And it just so happened to land in the woods in a train track.
Yeah.
Type thing. And I was like,
That's one of those convenience, like, let's just throw the bus flips over. All right, let's raise the stakes. And it keeps raising the stakes to beyond, not only is it beyond probability, but it's beyond reality.
It seems plausible to me.
How else were we going to get an explosion in this movie, Paul?
Right.
We have to get an explosion in here. Come on.
I felt almost as like I felt similar at the end, like, we have to have a big climax. What's exciting? Let's have it on the rooftop. Let's have shooting on the rooftop. Okay. How do we get out of this? I don't know.
Now, I will say this: that scene did help build quite a bit of character on Kimball.
Yeah, with him rescuing the other cop.
Security guard.
Yeah,
how he treated the security guard, and then when that guy jetted, he still helped the guy out, and then eventually you see him help him later.
You're right. I am not discrediting that at all. I'm talking about
I know you weren't. I know you weren't.
But that was just derailing, and not just the train, but the front part being fine, but somehow the back part gets detached.
It was a real train. Obviously, the physics happened.
They rigged a real train to do that.
Rigged schmigged.
It was on private property, so it was rigged.
Anything can happen on private property.
Yeah. Physics don't matter on
now,
private property.
Yeah. Like Bryce is saying, it's a Michael Bay type beat. You gotta get some Michael Bay into this movie. Yeah. Exactly.
This is pre-Michael Bay. This is what starts the Bay.
Instead of the Rock, it's the Train.
Yeah.
That's Sean Connery, Paul, in case you weren't sure.
I got it.
Good.
We weren't sure last time, but we're fine now. We're getting it.
All right, guys. Well, with that, let's get into our tragic makers. The things we hated most about this film. I'll start off because, Paul, you sort of you touched it just a bit there. And it's that the climax in this film just goes on a bit long. Like, I don't need the whole rooftop chase with the helicopter shooting. I'd rather just get into the laundry room and that sort of the sort of the culmination of the cat and mouse. Like, I'm right here, you're right here. Oh, it's actually this guy this whole time. I thought that was great. But the whole rooftop and them fighting each other, like fist fighting, I thought that was too much. So that's my tragic maker.
I did think falling onto the elevator was kind of cool. Like,
So do that, get to that without all the fist fights and the helicopters and all that.
All the scenes are well done, but
I was wishing that there was kind of more of that throughout the movie. To be honest, like he's on the
more
run.
rooftops in Chicago.
Well, not
like
necessarily more rooftops, but more fighting, less seeing him, doing these escape things.
Okay, so not only is MacGyver, but he's a WWE wrestler.
Yeah, absolutely.
I enjoyed it, but I get so Kirk, was that your tragic maker that there wasn't more?
I get what you're saying, but I kind of it didn't lose me there, is what I'm saying. So I'll tell you what my tragic maker is.
Yeah.
By a long shot, and it's one of those things that when you have a suspense movie and you're leading up to something, especially like this one, where it kind of works from the front side and works it back, like you guys mentioned, like we're kind of learning as we go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was zero development once we found out that he was a bad guy. And once we found out who the real guy was, like his whole, like it was just like all of a sudden, oh yeah, he works for the company. Oh, you're him, and then I hate you. Let's go into a fight.
Yeah, he's big pharma. Everybody hates big pharma.
And I just felt like we didn't get the real story of why. I felt that there could have been some more
money.
I would have liked to see like maybe even a flashback of that, like showing a flashback of him working the deal out with something. Like
how can you have a flashback of something you didn't see?
What I'm saying is like foreshadowing, giving us like a rewind of the movie. I hate when something happens and then I have so many questions. Like,
like how does the back end of a train derail at 30 miles an hour?
Wow. No, that's totally fair though, Kirk. Just that element.
I just don't think they explored it too much.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's
he's supposed to be this bad guy. I mean, he seemed like he could have been very menacing.
So you want this 2 hour and 10-minute movie to be longer.
I can also say this. You keep saying 2 hour and 10. I didn't feel like it was 2 hour and 10.
Oh, neither did I. Which goes into my
I mean, I didn't feel like it was overly long at all. I felt like
that's where you and I disagree. Is that I felt way too long.
Way
for
too
me.
long. Okay.
I agree, Francisco. That now I didn't even think of editing that whole rooftop scene out. I think that would have helped. But honestly, and I was trying to think. There's not really any scenes I would cut out, but maybe just trim each one. Like this could easily been an hour and a half that I would have been fully invested. Like boom, boom, boom. Wow, this movie really moves. I would love to see an hour and a half edit of this movie.
I don't think you need the whole. Them going after the other escapee.
The raid.
I mean,
scene,
that's cool and fun and interesting, but I don't think it's needed for the movie. I don't think it adds to it at all. It's not like he knows where Kimball is or something, so that's why they're trying to find him. I think that would have been interesting if somehow he knew. Like, I don't know how they'd be friends, but if there was something to that. But just to raid him, I feel like that's not the story we're following. Why are you guys doing this? You're after Kimball.
It's another misdirect.
I guess, yeah. But that leaves. Let's see. No, that leaves. Oh wait. So was that your tragic maker, Paul? That was just too long.
Yeah.
Okay. Then that leaves Andy. What was your tragic maker for The Fugitive?
This wasn't my judgment. I'll get to it here in a second. But to your point, Paul, I thought it was too short for everything we had. Now, hear me out. Not for a movie itself. I felt if we could drag this out to a series, I would have absolutely we could have
Well, wasn't it a TV show for a while? Isn't that
but this one thing, if you put it in like a 6 or 8 episode miniseries, yeah,
I think that we could have got
that would be interesting.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, kind of like a prison break. That would have been really good.
Something like that. But anyway, that's not my tragic maker. That's just a thought that I had there.
Yeah.
Again, I'm nitpicking, but this was the one that like continually came up to me throughout this movie. It is the general. So let me just say, it's the hospitals, and there's a lot of things about the hospitals I don't like. I kind of mentioned it earlier with the rollerblading nurse, but I don't know why there would be a hospital that felt like an airport with the amount of people that were walking through it.
Excuse me, no, it was a train station, not an airport.
Yeah,
hospital.
well, yeah. So, but there was that. The general just lack of security in these hospitals. You could just open any door.
Well,
and
yeah.
no one
This
no
is
one
the
asks
90s.
anything. No one asks anything. That room of like hanging, prosthetic arms and stuff, like this weird like fun house or haunted house type thing. That was like, it's just so many things about the hospital just bothered me. And it's, I mean, I think about now and I know 90s, right? So I get that. But like now, like you need a badge to get into anything, a code to this. You got to check in with this person. You got to call, before. And he could just walk in any room. Here's this guy in a he's got the ID, right? And he's good. We don't question him.
When he's like rushing the blinds.
And I was going to say, the lady who's like didn't ask anything.
They didn't have computer scanners back then.
So I'm hearing, Andy, you actually like Big Brother. That's what I'm hearing. Is that you want someone watching every step you take.
Government control.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where we are at all times.
That's
exactly what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying, though, that it's like he seemed to have easy access most of the time to the places he was going.
Yeah, and like how does
Which is crazy that we're only 30 years removed from that kind of
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But all right, guys.
Because I think back in the 90s, you would have watched that and you'd been like, "Hey, I could do that. Can I go take somebody's badge and go and check out some,
Yeah,
eating oranges and making fake IDs."
Yeah.
I thought it was more I didn't find that weird. I just found it more weird that nobody questioned him. Like he's walking through the amputee thing, and there's like only a few people would be there.
Well, I mean, like the one time that we're mentioning where he's the janitor and he kind of comes in, he says,
"No, before that, he's looking at like he's just walking around."
Right. But like in the janitor scene where that lady kind of looks at him, she doesn't go, "Oh, are you the new guy? What's your name? Oh, wait, I know Jose." Like nothing of that. It's just
she's not that talkative. She's listening to her music.
Yeah, she looks and she's like, "Oh, okay." Like basically, all right, whatever. See you in a little bit. Like no.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't talk to the janitors either. I mean, I don't hate them, but I don't know their names or their backstory.
Desmondo Ortiz Ruiz. Come on.
I don't.
But awesome, guys. Well, now that we've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer, Alice, you have a firing solution for us.
Firing solution complete. Rating salvo armed and ready to fire on your mark.
All right. Do we rate The Fugitive? A classic. We'd recommend anyone go see this film, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic. If you've seen it before, maybe you saw it as a kid or young adult, and you have fond memories, yeah, watch it again. You'll enjoy it just as much. But if you've never seen it before, go watch maybe Indiana Jones or some other Harrison Ford or Tommy Lee Jones.
Or MacGyver.
Or MacGyver, sure. Or do we rate it a tragic? It's not worth anyone's time today. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. So we'll start with our guests. Andy, you had predicted classic. Where did this end up for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was no surprise to me. It stayed classic.
What?
This is.
I'm shocked and dismayed.
Yeah, again, like I said, I hated that I had to pick 3 things I didn't like about it. So
Okay.
it's a classic.
Classic from Andy. All right.
I have some extra dislikes I can loan you for next
Throw them
time.
my way, yeah, if you want.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Kirk next. What
Yeah.
you had predicted classic as well? Where did it end up? for you?
Rushmore here. I mean, here's the deal. I love the movie. One thing that I would love is, they'd always do these remakes. A movie like this, I would love to see it 2025 just to see just the simple scenes like Andy's talking about with the hospital, like how they would redo it with some of those things that don't happen anymore.
Mhm.
I really enjoyed it, especially knowing it was 1993, and I had a great time, man. It's
Awesome.
definitely a
So
classic.
you do want to see a remake?
Oh, I wouldn't mind seeing a 2025 version of it.
Okay.
And seeing it
Yeah,
redone.
with the Muppets.
Yes. Yes.
That would be great for Andy's sake.
I would demand Harrison for Tommy Lee Jones is the only non-Muppet because
Okay, that'll work. I'll
That would be funny.
Yeah.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
yeah,
Joey Pants would have to be Riz or something.
yeah, Rizzo. I think Kermit's Harrison
Who's
Ford.
ponytail guy?
Who's
Ponytail
Ooh.
guy. We cut him out of the movie. He's gone.
No, what's the big guy? Sugar Tooth or something? Sweet Tooth?
Sweetums.
Sweetums, yeah. He's
Sweetums.
ponytail guy. Yes.
You can't be ponytail guy.
Why not? Why can't he be ponytail guy? Come
on. Whatever. Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah,
anyway, so Andy and Kirk classic. Now before we get to me and Paul, we go to you, our reflex capacitors, the people that support this show. Thank you all for supporting us financially, and you get to have a final reign vote. You get to influence our final reign, and so we collected all your votes together, and you all consider The Fugitive a classic as well. So
Wow.
we're probably going to end up being a classic, but will it be unanimous? Will it be disputed? We'll find out right now. Paul, you had predicted nostalgic. Did it end up nostalgic for you?
Yeah, I don't know if we can sink this ship this time, Francisco, but let's try, okay?
Okay, all right, yeah.
But you're gonna have a tough time because I also rated a classic. I recommended this to anybody. If you've seen it, whether you've seen it before or not.
But it's so long, Paul. It's so long.
It is, but it is so well done. I was impressed.
Mhm.
So
Okay, all right. Then so that's 4 classics. Yeah, how am I supposed to derail this train?
No pressure here.
well, you're coming very possible.
Hey, you're coming from the back, so you can derail us.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. But I'm right there with you guys. This was a classic for me. I enjoyed it so much. So I would rate, I rate it classic. Definitely go and see this. And according to the Retro Rewind podcast, we rate The Fugitive a unanimous classic film. We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not they've seen it before. So, but now it's time to get back to our own time. Good old 20XX.
20XX.
ComSat online, awaiting incoming transmissions.
Feels good to be back, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1993 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz, Kennethan, Fabulous Lomax, That's Our Babo, D. Tungsten, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, Dustin He's a Big Deal Warford, Flux, Redeemed Otaku, and in addition to 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. If you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to firejoystudios.com/subscribe to start.
Hey, Tommy, this stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
I don't care.
Say, Francisco, we want to thank all our supporters, but
Yes.
Who support us financially. But if there are those who want to support us but don't want to take a dip in their finances during these tumultuous times, is there any way they can do that to still support us?
Absolutely. I mean, so one easy way would be to just go to that same link, firejoystudios.com/subscribe, and you can subscribe to get to the site for free. There is a paid option, $5 a month, or there's a free option. So just sign up for free. You'll get notified when we post these podcasts, when we do other voting, and you also get updated on the board game I'm designing, Junkyard Juggernauts. So that's a great way. You could also, another better way is sharing is caring here, we believe. If you enjoyed this episode, which I hope you are since you've made it this far, and if you aren't driving, tap the share icon on your podcast player and for this episode and send it to a friend. Say, I know you like The Fugitive or Harrison Ford, so I thought you might like this podcast about that film.
Cool. And I'll bet they'll thank you for it.
Well, yeah, of course they will, because they care, right?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Speaking of thanking people, we will also want to give a big U.S. Marshal hug to our Andy Ricketts and Kirk for supporting us with their thoughts about The Fugitive. And since I like to go in alphabetical order, I'll start with Andy. Where can people find you online? Is there anything cool that you got going on that people should know about?
Yeah, so Kirk and I are both with the Rushmore show.
Where it's all about your top 4 and nothing more?
And actually a couple more.
Oh, a couple more. Oh, okay.
We do our honorable mentions, but nothing more really. So I mentioned before, we're in a series of video games right now. That'll go through February, and then we get into our 2-month stretch of music episodes. Very excited about that kind of stuff. But outside of the Rushmore show, I have my own YouTube channel called The Girl Dad Rad, where it's just adventures. I've got 3 daughters, so it's fun stuff. We have a video that I'm almost done editing that we went around town and tested all of the chicken nuggets in our hometown.
Oh, fun.
But you know what is the best chicken nugget that you can get in my hometown.
So did you have to go back to any of the places twice because they weren't that up to snuff? You know how sometimes like you get a good batch and a bad batch, or it's just like, sorry, I went once. This is your one time to shine.
They had the one chance. They did not miss their chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime, yo.
Just like Mom's spaghetti. Got it.
Yeah,
so,
Well,
I mean, I don't think we need to hear your reign, Andy, because Owaz says they're all foul.
Oh, man.
Was that your chicken nugget, Francisco?
Oh.
No.
Little nugget.
Because they were chicken. That's
nugget.
It's a little nugget.
Just a little there. Okay.
Anyway. Awesome. Thank you for being here, Andy.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
And Kirk, how can people find you online? And is there anything cool you got going on that they should know about?
Well, Andy mentioned a lot about what we were doing over at the Rushmore show. We got a great episode coming up this Thursday. Every Thursday, I should say. And finishing off with some really strong friends that are in the video game space. We've already booked music. We've got movies and TV halfway booked. We're almost all the way to the summer with people wanting to join our show, which is just really amazing.
That's so awesome.
And then just like Andy, I do another side project with my son. He does his with his daughters. I do mine with my son. His is called Retro Canon.
Mm-hmm.
And he likes to rip open baseball card packs and things. Got a whole pile of cards over here he's ready to open.
Nice.
And we play old video games like Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. It's been quite a time since he's put out a last episode. We've actually released the last episode, but we have recorded a bunch.
Okay.
Yeah, he's excited about that and taking over the reins and recording his own. So be on the lookout. He might be doing some of his own stuff. But yeah, that's us. Cool. And come and visit us on Thursday nights. Live.
Man, you guys are busy.
We are on YouTube, Facebook Live, and we used to be on Twitch, but I think we're abandoning it for Instagram.
Okay.
So right, that's just over that way.
Okay, very cool.
You guys are busy. We're so lucky we got you here right now.
Right? We are very blessed by you guys. And
you chose a great day.
Thank you so much, Andy, Kirk, my awesome... I guess you're not really a fugitive. PaulJPires.com. Appreciate you. And all your rewinders, new and old, for another fun voyage. We also want to thank Alutrick for enhancing our music. Find him at alutrick.bandcamp.com or youtube.com @Allutrick. That's spelled ALLOOUTRICK. Then the number 8266 for the YouTube. So thank you so much to him.
And speaking of websites, I am pauljpowers.com. You can find me and all my social media links at pauljpowers.com.
Awesome. Paul is very quick on his feet as well, I'll say. Find me, and you can find me, Francisco, on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retrorewindpodcast.com or firejoystudios.com/Discord.
This podcast is a proud member of Culture Box, a curated collection of podcasts, videos, and articles that will provide you a balanced meal of content. You will find culture celebrated for its past and future, satirized for its extremes, explored in study, and created anew in story. Point your web browser to culturebox.media.
And as Dr. Kimball just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all the shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you all. Thank you for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for Vampire Hunter D, the 1985 one, not the Bloodlust one. Our next adventure on the Retro Rewind podcast.
Retro Rewind mission complete. Proceed to base to await next mission.
I know it, Richard. I know it. But it's over now. You know I'm glad. I need to rest.
Very good, very good. I was going to use that as the intro, then I realized Paul's going to want to use this at the end.
Thank you for that.
Of course. And thank you, D Tungsten. Yeah, you need to watch Vampire and D again. Me too.
So just to be clear, that's the 1980s one. It's not the Bloodlust.
Correct. Yeah, that's the one that Geek Devotions picked. So
okay, just want to make sure I watch the right one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no.
All right.
Let's see. Thank you, Bobo. Who will save Generation X? Bryce JW Live official, and also just JW Live. Owaz. Let's see. Bobo. I think I said Ashley already. Let's see. Paul,
Ashley
of course. Again? Sure, Ashley again. Why not? Let's see. I think there's someone else. Dave, I think from before. Thank you, Andy and Kirk. We're going to...
Thanks, D Tungsten, for saving Generation X.
Yes.
Yes.
Good job. And we're going to be going to our spiritual speculation now, where we talk about the spiritual themes that we saw in The Fugitive. We might have a couple here, but that's going to be for supporters. So if you want to be a reflex capacitor and get access to that bonus content, go subscribe, and that'll be released when this episode drops. But yeah, thank you all so much. Hey, I did my part to salvo Gen X or whatever too.
Yeah.
Wow, Bobo.
He did. Go check out his episode on Who Will Save Generation X.
Indeed.
With Bobo.
But salvo, really? Did you have the authority? Okay.
Obvi.
Oh my gosh. Well, so anyway, guys, thank you so much. And we're going to end here. Until next time, here is your stream face.